Good morning, folks. Welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman here with another one of my 22 series videos. The topic of this video will be the advantages of using a scope over open sights. Now, many of you enjoy shooting open sights. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to put that to the test in a real life hunting situation. You know, it's one thing to be at a target range and plinking at highly visible targets at known distances with open sights and say, well, I'm a pretty good shot, you know, but put yourself in a real hunting situation where you're in some woods that are really dark, visibility is low, you're shooting at moving targets, you know, a small animal like a squirrel that's very nervous, doesn't sit still for very long, and you're trying to pick out that vital area to hit that animal and anchor it using open sights. And just what advantages do you have when you're using a scope over open sights? So anyway, I'm going to sit back here. I've already seen several squirrels. I'm going to get loaded up. I brought my Marlin 39A with open sights, and in the next video I'll be mounting a scope on this gun, and we'll see just how much of an advantage having a scope on a rifle actually is in a real life hunting situation, because I'll be mounting a scope on this gun just to illustrate that point. So let's sit back, get settled in here, and see what comes along. Okay, there's two squirrels here. One just came down that tree right there. They're chasing each other. 3 squirrels, 4 squirrels. Okay. Let's see if they come up out of that draw there. Come this way. I believe I hit that squirrel. Yep, they just dropped. I don't know if I hit that or not. Pretty long shot. Here's a good example of how a scoped rifle would be a good advantage. There's a squirrel right over there on that ridge, and he's moving this way. I'm having to wait until he presents a shot much closer. He's on the ground, moving towards the left. No way I could make that shot right now with open sights. I'd be lucky to hit that squirrel. With a scope, I could have nailed him already. Let's see what he does here. He might get a little closer. Yeah, I think I harvested that one cleanly. Alright folks, just to test both the accuracy of my gun and my shooting ability here in the woods, I put up a poplar leaf down there at about 30 yards or so, right up against that dead tree. We'll see how many times I can hit that out of the times that I try. Okay, let's run down there and check that. 2 shots. Should have hit it. Well folks, there you have it. It's 2 hits at 35 yards. If that had been a squirrel right there, we'd have harvested that squirrel. One was almost dead center hit right there, and the other one was off a little bit to the left and low, but still should have been good enough to hit that squirrel. I was set up right up there, and that squirrel I just shot at, I winged him twice right down here, about the same distance. So I don't know if I just didn't see that squirrel very well or what happened, but should have anchored that squirrel right there. Well folks, the wind's starting to pick up out here, so it's time to head on in. But anyway, that's 3 squirrels for the stew pot. One I still got to go retrieve. He fell over the side of a log, and I'm sure he's anchored right there because it just sounded and felt like a really rock solid shot. And that squirrel's down right over there, I'm sure of it. But anyway, you know, if you're going to challenge yourself, there's nothing wrong with coming out here and squirrel hunting with an open-sighted 22 like this Marlin lever action. And it can be quite humbling because, you know, you've got a small target. Squirrels are very small, and they're very nervous and fidgety. You know, they hardly sit still very long. And you want to get the sights acquired, get the front sight and the rear sight lined up and get it on that squirrel and get ready to make the shot, and then all of a sudden he moves again. So, you know, it's a matter of visibility too, because at this time of year, especially when the leaves are on the ground, they blend in so well. You know, it's almost impossible sometimes to see that squirrel through the foliage. And even if they get on the side of a tree, you know, they're the same color as tree bark, really. So, you know, getting the front sights acquired on target in time to make the shot, that's the challenge. And also distance. You know, if you've got a squirrel out there at 70, 80 yards, where you normally could make the shot with a scoped rifle, it's much more difficult with open sights because, quite frankly, that front sight pretty much obscures the whole target. So it's anybody's guess where that bullet's going to end up at that distance. So you really kind of have to wait for closer shots, you know, within 30 to 40 yards or so, I would say. And you should be able to acquire the target and make a clean hit. So in the next video, I'm going to be mounting a scope on this little rifle, and we'll see if my shot to hit average goes up. I'm sure it will, because from experience I know that a scope gives you quite an advantage. You know, you have one focal plane and everything is much closer, and the visibility is much, much better. So anyway, y'all stay tuned, and I'll be with you in the next video. Take care.